And hello there, you guys, and welcome to the channel if you're new. My name is Animal Introvert, and these are the ants that you all have been waiting for. And you all saw the title, you all saw the thumbnail, you all know what's about to happen. It's moving day for these girls, and I'm going to tell you all about them in the video. So let's roll the intro and get started. But anyways, yeah, these are the girls you all been waiting for. And now, here they are. This is their current setup. And this is the new outworld that I'm going to give them. So, with this vinyl tubing, I will connect them up. And then they will have some more foraging space. So, for y'all, it'll take about a second. But for me, it took a few very stressful minutes. Because at any moment, they could run out. But, anyways, yeah, and boom, done. So now we have the tube set up. And so I'm gonna play some footage of them traveling in the background while I tell you about them. So, but first, this is about 3 feet of vinyl tubing. They are very curious. You could see them slowly investigating, but for a while they were very cramped, stuck in this tiny space. A lot of the workers were forced to just stay in that tube, and that's where they would take that's where they would sleep, and I'd feed them. I had to keep on, and look at how many are just on the outside. They had eggs over there too. But anyways, yeah, now they have a whole bunch more space. So I'm very glad about that. So anyways, once that footage begins to play, I will just talk about them. So, yep, footage is coming in just a little bit. So yeah, first bit of footage here is not the best, and it'll get better. But yeah, here we can see the opening from their old setup to the outworld, and this is at the beginning of the move. Now they're not moving fully, they're still gonna nest up in the test tubes that I've given them, but it's just gonna be like a bit, like, it's just like the newer stuff. Yeah, so I'll just talk about them a little bit now. So they're, I believe, Lasius, a species of Lasius, and they are fairly small, around maybe 10 millimeters in length, maybe a little bit more. It's hard for me to tell. I don't use the metric system all that often. So they're fairly small. And these are just factors like appearances and traits and behaviors that I'm going to tell you, so that maybe perhaps you can help me identify them. And so if it's not even Lasius, please tell me in the comment section below. Yeah, here we got some better footage now. And also, if whatever species it is, please tell me specifically what species it is, or to the best of your ability, like your best guess. Like Lasius neoniger, Lasius niger, Lasius flavus. All those are just some examples. But Lasius blank, whichever species of Lasius it is, to the best of your ability. Anyways, yeah. So they are fairly small, a few millimeters, at least 10. I think maybe 10 millimeters length. Around 10 mil. I think around 10 millimeters in length, maybe a little bit longer. I'm not really sure. Like I said before, I don't use the metric system very much. They're between a light brown and just a brown, I guess. Like between your normal brown and your light brown. Now we got some more footage. Different spot. It's between the two. You can't see the outworld, but you can't see their old setup either. It's just like the in-between tubing. so that you don't get distracted by anything else happening. There's a bit of action, not really action, but there's a bit more activity here in this section. That is until later, where there's another segment with more activity. But anyways, yeah, so they're between a light brown and a normal brown, like a brown. Like what you think of as a brown versus, like, if you think of the color brown, between that and a light brown. Yeah, they're not too shiny, but they do have a subtle glow. And they do have these very small, fine golden hairs. Not bright golden, a dull golden, but still shines a little bit when there's light on them. Very small hairs though, it's very hard to see unless you look super closely. And the queens are about the same size as the workers. The only differences that you can really see are the head's a bit smaller, the mesothorax is slightly larger. The mesothorax is like just the thorax, but in the class of Hymenoptera, at least I know, is called a mesothorax because of the area where the wings attach, because the wings are different from other species. I know it's this way in Hymenoptera. It may be this way in other species of insect as well. But Hymenoptera is just ants, bees, and wasps. But the way their wings, muscles are structured, it gets a special name, I guess. I'm not really sure. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, or tell me if I'm right in the comments. Yeah, anyways, now it is time for a bit of a tour. But anyways, the queens are... yeah, it's feeding time now. So I've got for them some protein jelly, which is the white, and the clear is some sugar jelly. Anyways, yeah, so I'm just gonna pop the lid open, place it in the middle, like around those little twigs in the middle, in the pebbles, and then we'll watch them. Well, I'm gonna keep talking about the queens. The queens are about the same size, smaller head, slightly bigger mesothorax, and then the abdomen is bigger. But yeah, so that's about really all that I can give you, I guess. The viewer, about what they are, what they could potentially be. Anyways, yeah, now I'm gonna go back and look a bit more, focus a bit more. So yeah, now we got a bird's eye view. They come in from that top right up there. I'll point to it soon. Yep. So that's the food bit. That's the food dish, and that is the opening. They'll come in there, and then they'll wander over to the food. And if you look for long enough, or if I look for long enough, you might be able to see them coming in. But yeah, so there is that other plugged up opening. And yeah, I'll just set this stand up so that you can look at them real well. So yeah, now I've just got situated, so I guess we'll just watch as we move through the different vantage points, and then I'll talk again after a little bit of stuff happens. And putting the lid back on in 3, 2, 1, and lid. So here we have a top view, and you can see an ant climbing over a rock, over the sand, and then over that rock there, the first one to investigate. Yeah, anyways, now you can see that there's a few more ants around. And yes, so now that you've seen them feeding, it's time for our tour of these ants' new home. So we start off with the feeding area here. And then we move over to the tube in the back. Just move up the tube to their old home. Or they're still their home, but the old setup, we move down the tube a bit more gracefully now. And we just look over this grand scape. And just give me a second to be able to do this tour a little bit better. So we'll start with the fields of dead lichen up into the canopy of ferns. Moving gracefully down, sloping gracefully over the whole lands. The sticks and twigs that seem like trees. The massive pebbles. The mossy fields. And the dried up riverbed. This is their new kingdom. And they really seem to enjoy it. And I'm really glad they do. So now that you've seen it all, thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast making their new home for them and making these videos and putting them out so that you all can share with me in this excitement. So if you liked what you saw today, please leave a like. It would help. It would notify me that I'm doing something right. And if you want to see more, then consider subscribing. It's free. You can always change your mind, although I don't know why you'd want to. Seeing as I have more coming in the future. And if you don't want to miss that, then maybe think about hitting the bell icon. And also, like I said before, comment what species this is and a few other things. And also, what should we name this new colony of ours, or of mine, that you all get to share in the excitement and activities of with me. And thank you so much. And also share the video if you feel like other people should be able to see this. And it would also help me out because it would get me more views, get me more publicity, get me a bit more attention. And being a starting channel, having only been out on the internet for around a year, well, a year coming up in a couple months, I'm still a pretty young channel. And so, yeah, it helped me out a ton. Yeah, so please, thank you all so much for watching. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Animal Introvert out. But before you go, please recognize that I filmed this around a month ago, maybe more. So a lot has happened in that span of time between filming the video and posting it. So make sure to tune in next time and all the times after that for new excitement, new action, and maybe even some new queens and colonies. So make sure to tune in next time because, as always, I've got a lot planned.